In the late afternoon hours of April 4th, 2023, AMC's cost to borrow rates are spiking by over 200%, now sitting at 855% for the cost to borrow max. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into these numbers that you need to know, as well as a new kind of update on this court proceeding and the $100 million meme stock settlement that depends on unusual procedure. So let's get into all of this information. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't not already. So first things first, let's get into the Ortex data, because that's what we started this video with. We might as well get into it with the data. The cost to borrow max jumped exponentially here in the last couple of hours. It's actually over 200%. You were sitting at 515% earlier in the day today, and now you're sitting at 855.91% for the cost to borrow max. Absolutely insane numbers here. This is very unsustainable and will eventually lead to shorts covering on those stubborn short positions. Even a cost to borrow average across different brokerages and platforms sitting at 386.49% is out of this world. Cost to borrow minimum, last real update that we got, was sitting at almost 400%. The interactive brokers cost to borrow rates at 351.25%, again, out of this world. Live short interest or free float sitting at 25.18%, up 0.25% on the day alone, and now sitting at 130.02 million shares that are sold short, up about 335,000 here on the day today. Now into this article briefly. AMC Entertainment's $100 million meme stock settlement depends on unusual procedure. If everything goes the way shareholder lawyers and defense counsel for AMC Entertainment Holdings Inc. are hoping, court approval of their proposed $100 million class action settlement will be pretty much an afterthought. But for that to happen, AMC and the plaintiffs who sued to block the company from proceeding with a novel equity restructuring will have to convince Delaware Chancery Court Judge Morgan Zern to forego the formal process for deciding whether the deal is fair for AMC common shareholders before they receive their recovery from the settlement. Now, what I want to say here is, even though we got this settlement, right, it still has to be decided by the judge if this is fair. So I still think there will be some level of uncertainty heading into April 27th. And if we know one thing with AMC, it can be very unpredictable. So it wouldn't surprise me to see the judge not really accept this nor deny this, but to hear more information, to schedule another court date. And I think that is something that everyone should be prepared for. And quite frankly, I think that would be a bullish reaction in AMC stock itself. The proposed settlement, which was announced in a press release and U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission filing on Monday afternoon, will resolve class action claims by meme stock investors in AMC common shares. Those investors who buoyed the movie theater company during the pandemic alleged they were being shortchanged in equity restructuring, which calls for deeply discounted AMC preferred shares to be converted to AMC stock. AMC shareholders actually voted in favor of the restructuring last month, but plaintiff lawyers who contend the shareholder vote was tainted obtained a so-called status quo order to freeze the preferred share conversion until Zern ruled on their motion to enjoin the equity restructuring. So if you really think about this logically here, I don't know if a court is going to outright just dismiss this, because is it fair for AMC common stock investors? I would argue not. But again, it's something that can go 50-50 here. Now, The new settlement calls for the share conversion to proceed and for common stock owners to receive consideration for combining their shares with lower price preferred shares. Common stock holders under the settlement terms would receive one additional new share for every 7.5 shares they owned before the restructuring. The total value of the new shares, according to plaintiffs' lawyers, could be as high as $118 million. I think this is important for everyone to understand as well, this next paragraph. Both the conversion and the award of new stock would happen right away under the settlement terms. AMC would affect the share combination, and in a matter of days, pre-conversion common stock owners would receive their newly issued shares. Investors would not have to wait months for the class action approval process to unroll before they receive the benefit of the deal. So essentially, what this means to me, what this sounds like, is you would get paid out these shares before this conversion ever happened. So you would have your optionality to hold on to these shares, to get rid of these shares, right? I think that's the point of this, is to reward people and try to compensate some of that. I don't know why that was so hard to say, but compensate some of the dilution that we are about to see before that dilution actually does happen. Quote, the settlement constitutes a win-win-win for all parties affected, the motion said. Quote, the settlement is an extraordinary result for AMC common stockholders and justifies lifting the status quo order currently preventing AMC from converging its two publicly traded securities. The motion, which is unopposed by AMC lawyers from Wheel, Gottschall, and Mengs, and Richards, Layton, and Feinger, lots of lawyers there, especially says that AMC supports the plaintiff's request for Zurn to lift the status quo order and allow the company to complete the share conversion immediately. The company has said that the conversion will also allow AMC to raise new capital and pay down debt. And this is something that I really want to get through everyone's heads and brains, no matter if you're a smooth brain, a wrinkled brain, what you put whatever words you want on it. This is fundamentally a positive thing. This fundamentally changes the game for AMC. When they do raise capital in this way, I want to be real with you guys. Some people have tried to make the argument that this would not cause the squeeze, and the only reason the shorts are shorting AMC and have continued to short AMC is, one, they're losing money, right? And they are unprofitable, which goes kind of hand in hand. So they're burning through cash. They're not making a profit. They have really bad returns on capital. Those are reasons why people are shorting AMC, right? You can't really reinvent the business when you're losing money. If you give AMC enough capital, up to $16 billion, to pay off their debt and to go into different avenues, which I do think AMC wants to do. After all, they bought a gold miner, which I don't know if that was the best use of capital. It was pretty cheap nonetheless. But still, I do think this could give AMC a lot more optionality and could allow them to pursue different things, which could be more value adders than some of the things that they have done in the past. So I do firmly and wholeheartedly believe that would cause the MOAS, just AMC, paying down all of their debt. And I believe if they paid down all their debt and they didn't have any debt payments, they would actually be profitable. Don't quote me on that, but I think if AMC had zero debt, their business itself would be profitable. I believe they were free cash flow positive on their last couple of earnings. It's really the debt payments and the accrued interest and everything else that does eat into their margins and essentially their profitability. So there you have that. I wanted to give you guys a little bit more details on this whole situation because this is a very fluid situation. And again, anything can happen heading into the courts, right? I think it's very logical here that a judge would say this isn't fair compensation for the dilution that AMC common stockholders are about to receive. I don't necessarily think the judge would outright say that this settlement can't happen, but I think they might just give it another court date to get some more information and try to understand the situation a little bit more. Because even these judges, I mean, it's pretty complicated stuff that they're trying to do here. What's weighing the benefits to, you know, the negatives is not really a one shoe fits all kind of one court date gets the job done kind of thing. So it wouldn't surprise me to see the situation last longer than we expect, and that would inevitably be a bullish thing for AMC stock after it has gotten beaten down here in regular trading. AMC stock closed the day down about 23.5%, up 2% here and after. I was sitting at about $4 per share. Now, on top of that, I do want to give you guys a brief rundown on what to expect as far as the markets for trading on April 5th. That is Wednesday, and economic data that we're going to get. So it's not going to be too much, but you are going to get, if you take a look right here, the balance of trade coming out at 8:30 in the morning, you're expecting a deficit of about $69 billion. Not really going to be a huge deal, but you are going to get ISM non-manufacturing PMI coming out at 10 o'clock in the morning. So if you do see that big move up or down coming at 10 o'clock, that is going to be because of that ISM non-manufacturing PMI. And what we actually seen for the trading day today, Tuesday, April 4th, that really caused the markets to really flip upside down for the first time in quite a while here is the JOLTS job openings. We were expecting 10.4 million job openings. It came in at 9.93 million job openings, showing that there is a lot of contraction in this economy, that people are no longer looking to hire as many people, and some of those jobs are starting to go away. After all, the economy in a recession, that's what investors care about most when it comes down to it. That is what kind of will dictate valuations. And what you're also getting here, this is a more recent update at 10:17 p.m., so just about an hour ago. Federal Reserve Mester says rate target will need to go over 5%. And I doubt that bodes well for tomorrow, and that's pretty much where the federal funds rate is right now, but it could have to go a lot higher than that. So that is gonna do it for this video. I think we covered a lot of ground on specific topics that I wanted to cover here in this video. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section if you have not already. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.